Okay, let's go. Hola, chit. Hello, people. My God. That slaps. Let's start with the priorities. We have this gorgeous mug and a nice mint tea with lemon, with honey, and with ginger. Let me lubricate. I'm gonna take care of your throat, baby. But here we are today to talk about some books that are currently on my mind for whatever reason. There's a bunch of them, and I decided I'm just gonna talk my shit. Let's see what's up. Hope you're good. I just had some food. Me and my little sister are learning how to make soup, and we made a tomato soup today, which was definitely an improvement from our previous soup recently, which was basically cut up veggies with water and seasonings, herbs. And that's not what soup is, because it just tasted like water with veggies. That wasn't it. But today we made a nice soup with some guidance from my mom, and that was, I called her a gentle slay. This could have been better, but it's definitely a huge improvement from the last time. So I had some soup, now I have some tea, and I'm surrounded by some books. I'm gonna talk my shit. Okay, the first one that I have here, closest to me, it's The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. In Polish, so shall I say, Ballada Ptaków i Węży, of course by Miss Suzanne Collins. And I got this book first like a few years ago, and I read like 150 pages of this chunky baby. And then I went to see the movie, yeah, with just reading like the first 150 pages out of this 500, 400 baby, 540 baby. So, and already I felt like the movie, I was like, hey, it could have been at least like an hour longer for me, or make it a two-parter, you know, because how the Hunger Games was like 300 something pages, and it was a 2 hour something movie, and this is a much thicker baby, so they definitely needed to squeeze in some things and make some decisions. But still, I really enjoyed the movie, even though I felt like it was happening fast. But I enjoyed the movie, and Miss Rachel Zegler, this she is my Roman Empire. Freaking adore her. The voice, the acting, the emotion, the heart. Her personality is so beautiful. So I love. And the Ballad of Lucy Gray. Still, over a year later, I sing it daily. If this song is not gonna be on my Spotify rap later this year, I'm gonna be surprised. It's likely to be a number one as of right now, because it's. But anyway, so recently I picked up the book again, especially since now the sunrise on the day of the reaping. What is it? Sunrise on the reaping. Something, right? Yeah, sunrise on the reaping. I think that's the English title. Is coming out like next month, and it's gonna be the Hamid games that we all wanted. So I just recently I woke up in a mood for reading, and that was the mood I was in for. So I was catching up. I currently have like 40 pages left, so the things are happening, and I enjoyed how like I read a bit and I watched the movie. Now I'm reading properly, and I can get much deeper sense of it and see really what's going on, because the bunch of stuff that is here wasn't really included in the book or had to be compromised for this or that reason. So it's nice to get deeper and be reading this properly. So really enjoying so far the last 40 pages. The shit is happening. But yeah, so that's the first one. Then for the next one, I'm gonna show. Okay, so this is kind of in my mind a bit because of what's happening in America right now. Well, this also could be because of that reason. But George Orwell, 1984. And I haven't actually read that book. I was meant to a couple of years ago at university when we had this cool module, Imaginary Worlds and Possible Futures. And we were talking about fantasy, science fiction, and then about utopia and dystopia. And each week we were reading a different book. But we read a utopian book, Herland by Charlotte Gilman Perkins. Um, and I loved that book. I loved that book. Another classmate had a presentation about it, but after he finished, and I felt like and he didn't really like this book, I had to speak my mind and say my shit and give off a monologue about how brilliant that book is and why it didn't need to be action packed because there's such important sentiments and it was very thoughtful, I thought. So after reading this feminist utopia, I was and then having to read this next week, I found it immediately so jarring because I was just in my feminist bubble. I was in my feminist bubble, and then having to read this, I was like, "This is terrifying." So I said to my teacher, I just couldn't. I couldn't. So I still haven't read it. But recently, with what's been happening in America, I saw somebody how they posted this quote from that book about how the last thing they told them to not believe is what they see or something like this. And I was like, okay, maybe this is the time to read this. So I have this really nice edition, which feels nice too. So I think maybe now is gonna be the time to pick it up. But first I'm gonna finish this baby, hopefully today, because I am into this. But another ones that I may or may not read before that. We shall see what happens after the ballot. But another two I bought recently. I went to my favorite bookshop in my town, which is very sentimental to me, and I asked for two authors, and I asked for the books from two Polish authors, which is crazy if you would have told me that like 10 years ago. Because before I moved to UK and I proper got into reading and I was blogging about books and talking stuff, I wasn't reading much Polish literature. Growing up I did some children poems or some child stories or some books in school, but not when I proper was a reader, and I was making my own book collections and stuff. Yeah, I don't know, maybe by then felt like America was very idealized, and what was on the other side of the border. So I was reading Ricky Jordan, that's an uncle. Hunger Games and stuff like that. Enjoyed this. So more American famous literature at the time. But there was only one Polish author that I really enjoyed at the time. It was Katarzyna Belenika-Miszczuk. Katarzyna Belenika-Miszczuk work. And I really liked her work. And I was so in awe because I connected with her how each of her projects was basically a different genre, and each of them that I read, she freaking slayed. So I was like, work, Miss Miszczuk, And so I was impressed, and I really liked her work. And once after reading her work, reading her book, the creepy one called Druga Szansa, direct translation is Second Chance, which sounds like a romance title, but it's not. It's about this asylum type of stuff, but place, but it's not. But it kind of feels like a read it. It's great. They made a Netflix TV adaptation about it called Open Your Eyes, I believe. Still haven't seen it. I gotta watch it. But I love that book. I love the book. And I messaged her. I messaged the author after reading that book, complimenting and telling her my theories and asking about it. And she actually responded and validated some of my theories, which is so cool. But anyway, I feel like now, after being back here, I'm having, I don't know, a Polish rebirth, renaissance when it comes to books in some way. So I'm gonna show you the books that I got. One was, I wanted to read some Olga Tokarczuk, which a few years ago, she won a Nobel Prize. And I feel like right now everybody and their mama is reading her book. The one Drive Your Plow Through the something of the Death. It's a long title that I keep forgetting. But yeah, Dula Peep mentioned her on her thingy, on her service something. What's his name? Pedro Pascal, he was reading it. Everybody and the mama is reading it. And I was wanting to pick up this book for a while. But now that I'm here, I feel so lucky that I get to read it in the original language. If you can read the original language, read it, you know, because translations are powerful and helpful, but also it's different when you can read in your original language, because that also influences some things. So I'm so happy that I get to have a Polish edition, and look how gorgeous it is. We have a very nice hardback with this cool cover, the animals, some stuff in the dark, and I didn't know much about what this book actually is. And then I read the back, which doesn't actually tell you much about the story, but just few opinions from The Guardian, LA Republica, and stuff like that. But I'm intrigued, and I just want to give it a shot and get deeper into the Polish literature now that I'm a little bit older than I was. And yeah, I like the font, I like how it all looks, and I'm very intrigued to read it and see what's up. This seems very readable. And I'm excited. I'm so glad that the Polish author is getting her flowers. Yeah, let's see what that will bring up. And another one that I got at the same time is this science fiction famous Polish author from the 20th century, Stanisław Lem. I heard my dad mention him countless times growing up, how he heard about this book, his books. And to my surprise, recently when I mentioned how I'm planning to get his book, my dad said that he actually never read any of his books, and I was so gagged since he was talking so much about him. But turns out, my dad loved more like adventure books, like Robinson Crusoe and Julius Verne stories and stuff like that. But Stanisław Lem is a science fiction boy. And we have this awesome new editions for all his books in Poland. So I got the first one. I got the classic one, the one that feels like the biggest. I got Solaris. Bam. I really like the cover and how it has these little triangles that are like in the sun, and I like how it feels. The size is nice. I don't have to worry too much about the spine. It's stable. The pages, it's gonna be it feels like it's gonna be such a quick and nice, easy read. It's not like I'm the quickest reader or anything, but this seems very nice. I like how it feels, and I'm interested. So again, I didn't want to know too much about it. What does it say? What does it say here about it? Yes, here's just like a fragment of the book. Here are all the other covers of his books, which are also really cool, and all of them have this like lamb in the center. But yeah, maybe I'll tell you about it more when I actually read it. Solaris is, yeah, here they say Solaris is his most famous novel. Yeah, it's an inspiring tale about the limits of the humanity and the chance of understanding with something different in nością. And it's also a romantic history of love. Okay, and surprising, engaging action. I'll be the judge of that. But I'm very curious, see, and appreciate something like this. So that's another book. I'm thinking also of like making some videos when I actually read some stories that I really like or that I haven't read and are known and I wanted to read for a while. For example, Before Coffee it's called. I have it for years. I haven't read it. Everybody knows about this book. Now there's like freaking 5 of them. I have the first one. And I was thinking, what if I read just like one of them, you know, just like a little audiobook. The first one is titled The Lovers. So I'm interested. And if you don't know about it, it's like there's this cafe. I don't know how you would not know about it. Sorry, there's this cafe that you can basically speak with someone deceased, but just for as long as before your coffee gets cold. Bam! So it's a very cool premise. And there's there's one section about the lovers, the husband and wife, then the sisters, and mother and child, and there's 5 of them. So there's a bunch of different relate. And I think it's so interesting to kind of, I like character studies and or like really cool concept of beautiful world creation, and I love structure. But I like with this one, seems very like character driven and relationship driven, which I think it can be so interesting, engaging. So maybe I read one of them and we shall see. I was also thinking about reading some of that for the video. We shall see. But yeah, those are the ones that are on my mind. Another one I was also thinking about recently is Gender Euphoria, which is very queer. As you can tell by the cover, it's also very trans, has a bunch of different flags on the spine. And it's a really cool book. A lot of, I haven't read all of it. I read few stories, but it's basically a collection of non-fiction stories by many different people sharing their stories of with gender euphoria, which I think is so beautiful, because a lot of queer stories have been focusing on, you know, the struggles, the trials and tribulations, which there have been many of, and it's so valid and needed to explore these stories. But we also need some good ones, positive ones, happy ones. Queer joy is so special and sacred. So exploring something like this is so important, especially now again, when they've been under attack time and time again, and now with all the freaking new laws in America, it's fucking bullshit. So trans people are valid, queer people are valid, and very important. So let's bring some joy and awareness to it. So I was thinking of also reading some stories from it, just for a little audiobook video type of thing. But yeah, I have one bookshelf here, I have two bookshelves there. There's probably a bunch of other books I could be talking about it, but those are like the main ones. Hold on, baby. Hold on. Because another one, I don't have them physically. I could show you like the pictures of them or something, because I was yesterday and today, you know, and I have to buy them, so that's the thing. And also buy them secondhand, because they came out in like 2006 to 2008. But what they are the books from the Tinkerbell universe. Listen. I wanna educate and raise my little sis right, yeah, and that includes reading some cool books with her. I love reading. We read books from the series of like Little People Big Dreams, which are so beautiful, about real people that are very thoughtful and inspiring. Like recently we are rereading them, and today we just chose like 5 more to buy. But we read recently one about Rosa Parks, one about David Attenborough, one about Marie Skłodowska-Curie, and things like this. And now recently I also started showing her Tinkerbell movies, because I loved them as a kid, and now it's such a joy rewatching them. But also Tinkerbell had a bunch of books that aren't just about her, right? But about other fairies from the movies, but also the fairies that aren't in the movies. And we had one of the books, but only one. And turns out there's a bunch of them. And the more and then I keep finding more of them. So today I found like 9 so far that I can get secondhand from. But I think there's like a freaking 14 that I found out about so far from that particular series. So I'm going to let me find some. Okay. And we had one which okay, so I'm just gonna I don't care. I'm just gonna show you some of the pictures for that I just drew here. I hate you, internet. Anyway, maybe I'll just put a picture here. And maybe that's gonna be easier. But yeah, we had this one. I hope the future me will work. We had this one as a kid, but now we can't find it. Maybe my mom sold it some time ago. But I want to buy this one again, and I want to buy these. I have them in the basket right now, so, and I'm very excited. So far we watched 2 of the Tinkerbell movies, and there's 6 of them. I've watched 5 of them. I never saw the 6th one, the one about the Never Beast. I'm so looking forward to this. So we watched the second one. I think the second one we watched like yesterday or 2 days ago. It was really lovely. I think my favorite one might be the fourth one. Although also I really like the premise of the fifth one, but the fourth one is so cool. And speaking of the fourth one, right now, in like less than a week, a book is about to come out that's connected to the fourth Tinkerbell movie, The Secret of the Wings, yeah? The one when it's like, there was a fairy from the Winterlands, and the one from the normal seasons, or something like this. And how they fell in love. And that was the story about the queen fairy, and this guy, right, from the winter. And now they made a proper novel, full-on 400 pages novel about this, called Wings of Starlight. The gag, what a god! So yeah, maybe I should read that once upon a time. I don't know, right now I'm just trying to find these old Tinkerbell books. You know, they are so fun. I remember reading the one on the bus as a kid, and yeah, and also fairy is magical. And I think even as adults, there's so many beautiful values in children's stories that adults aren't applying in their life, and the world would be better if we did, you know. And and this like magic of it all also may be inspiring to me in my writing, or my drawings, or whatever, you know, or just bring me joy. For sure, my little kid is just can't wait to have them in my hands, and my adult self is cannot wait to have them in my hands. Okay, I think that will be it for today, right? That's enough. I need to lubricate some more. All my tea is still nice and warm. And yeah, but that was very enjoyable. Hope you enjoyed it too. And I shall be back soon with another little chit chat, or perhaps reading you a book that I really want to read to you guys is Cursed Bunny Love. It's an anthology short story collection by the author Bola Chang, who's the shortlisted for the 2022 International Booker Prize. This is my shit. That's my shit. It's so good. Because it's twisted, it's creative, it's thought-provoking. I'll just read you the first line of the first story. The first story is called The Head. And listen. She was about to flush the toilet. Mother? She looked back. There was a head popping out of the toilet, calling for her. Mother? The woman looked at it for a moment, then flushed the toilet. The head disappeared in a rush of water. She left the bathroom. Like, come on now. It's so good. Okay? How many? Oh, it's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stories. I read 8 of them. And the second to last, or the very last, actually has some Polish in it, which is so exciting when I found it out. And a few months ago, right before coming back here, I saw another book that caught my eye in Waterstones in Wales. This one. It feels nice. I like the cover, the color, and it's called Your Utopia. And I like it because I like exploring utopias, dystopias, and be thoughtful. I think it's thoughtful and provoking. And then turns out that it's actually another book by this author, another short story anthology. So I am so happy I found it. So yeah, so probably would also be likely to read something out of that. But anyway, I think we're gonna end it here for now. A message for today. And yeah, take care of yourself. Read or don't. Do what makes you happy. Be kind. And in case nobody told you today, you're special. Till next time, baby.